Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. Just having a quick look, obviously, at the Dow last night. I think it was the price action was a little bit negative. You see, we broke that short-term sort of trend line. Possibly, we're going to go back down to that sort of 15,589 level, little just above that sort of swing high. If we do that, we really want to hold that level. Otherwise, obviously, I think the Dow potentially, you do look on that chart, you think it would possibly come back down to 19,000, maybe even a little bit lower. However, I think a lot really in the States depends on what Mr. Trump says. This is the inauguration. There's a bit of nerves around. Obviously, people are a little bit sort of apprehensive what he's going to say. However, I think if he says the right things, we could quite easily rebound up pretty quickly. So I think the jury's out, and obviously a lot depends on the next few days. If you actually look, I'm trying to look at really the worst case scenario on our market. If the Dow does have a sort of pretty strong, serious pullback, I'm thinking, possibly 5,000 sort of 433. That sort of level doesn't worry me, and I still think the good, even if RSX goes back sort of 200 points, I think some of the really good trending stories, especially the ones that are reporting their earnings, if they're successful next month, there's no reason why they can't sort of go against any sort of bearishness in the market over the next few weeks and actually do quite well for us. And for that reason, we have been really, we are nervous of the market. Obviously, we are trying to pick stocks that we believe have got really strong growth, and we do believe should report well in the coming months. And actually, today you can actually see, we had on a day it was pretty tough, down 0.66%. We had Fisher & Paykel, Hansen, ALU, and ALQ all up today. And funny enough, the ones CTD, Domino's hardly moved at all really. RHC held up pretty well. It's only really BAP and the gold stocks that did more than slightly more than 1%. So those sort of trending stocks, in a pretty negative day, obviously doing very, very well. What I think is interesting is obviously ALU. We did put this one on yesterday. Why? Because even if it does come down a little bit more and sort of floats close to that sort of 750 level, I think this is very, very, very good buying over the next. I'll be talking to some more analysts about this company, and we really do. This has got some great earnings growth over the next 4 years. So we're really happy to be trending it, and I think it'll do very, very well for us. We added Web this afternoon, so it's going sort of. I just thought that is the mother of all charts. It looks very, 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 very good actually. And again, this is a company that has had particularly fantastic earnings growth recently. Actually ran up as high as $12, and obviously come back recently. Most probably sort of market sentiment, or arguably it just run a little bit too hard. Held that sort of basically around that sort of 20-day moving average, and now starting to move off it. I think it looks very, very, very bullish, and obviously it's got a lovely buy signal. And in the past, these buy signals have obviously, you can see, done pretty well on WEB, Webjet. Again, it's a great little company, so we're really happy to add that one to the trending portfolio. Well, I'd just like to talk about two stocks again. I think are interesting. Star Group, the little unloved, fantastic little Star Group keeps growing its earnings through the roof. Now it's giving a dividend of about 6.7%, which is absolutely fantastic. Next year, if they keep growing their earnings like they are, this dividend could be even a lot higher. I think the market is slowly waking up for it. Again, it's sort of had the best sort of weekly finish now for about 6 months. Hopefully the market are waking up to this great little story, and I think hopefully Star Group, if you can have another really good week next week, this could be on for its move. Often you find that these sort of stocks can actually trade like this for quite a while and look pretty negative, and when they can actually go pretty quickly and pretty far, quite high. So hopefully this will be the Star Group's month coming up, and our fingers crossed. The other one we're talking about again that had a nice little breakout was Elders. And again, it ran a little bit higher today, up as high as I think $4.23. And I was saying I think it's important if it can just hold above this level 416, and it did do that. So I think again Elders is really set up quite nicely, hopefully for a really bullish week next week. What I would just like to say tonight, we do the Einstein's trending blog, stocks that we think have bullish sentiment for the coming week. Obviously, last week we had two stocks, the Dow and IMD. IMD was up 17% last week. It did very, very, very well for us. And, we followed it up, Data 3. We said this looked bullish, bang, and a really tough week. This stock at one stage today, it was up about 8%. It's ended up 6.36%, ended up about 7% for the week. Hello Equity Story, you've done it again. That is absolutely exceptional. And again, obviously, MNY are holding up really well in the markets. The bullish shares were, obviously here today we had ORG hitting record highs. Bullish shares generally sort of held up very, very strongly in a pretty, obviously a pretty tough week. But and some of them actually ending the week higher and still looking very, very, very bullish for next week. What I would say is the stocks that we said could be bearish to stay away from, we had about 26 of those, and 24 of those ended in the red. So again, you would expect that obviously on a sort of bearish week when the market was negative, but even so, I think that's that's pretty extraordinary work from Equity Story. And again, these weekly buy and sell signals just giving tremendous sort of trading help for all, especially for all our sort of more aggressive sort of weekly day traders, week in, week out. Anyway, that's all I've got to talk about tonight on Equity Story. I'm looking forward to next week. It's going to be, this is a very exciting time to trade, really. It's volatility. It's really, really hard. There's no question about it. The market's nervous. You saw at the end of last year that just way some stocks just get sold off with fear. It is tough, but it's a lot of fun. And I think, this suits what we do at Equity Story. Hopefully, we can really shine this year and really keep hitting some really good trends and do quite well. Anyway, that's all I've got to talk about at Equity Story and tonight, and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you and good night.